lists and reasons for why we choose certain schools. For me, when I came here in the first year the school started in 1973 as a third grader. My parents chose to send me to school because there was a lot of unrest in the city, and students were being bused, and my parents put me in a private school. For me, when I had Hunter and was trying to decide on the school for him, it was very important to me that I knew he would get a great education here because I did. I also wanted him to be in a Christian environment. I knew that he would be spending more waking hours with the teachers than he would be at home, and I wanted those teachers to be Christians, and I wanted him to be in a Christian environment. Also, I felt like the school always recognized that many times we have two parents that work at home. And so I felt like the school allowed, there was before school care and there was after school care, and it was all on the campus of the school. I didn't have to worry about him having to be put on a van and go to another location, and that was very important to me. And out of the options that I was choosing for a private school, it was the only one that had that. My last child that's here, and he's in 6th grade, there's a whole list of different reasons on why he's here. But when I think about Hunter, and I think about his time here at Briarcrest, I saw teachers that were invested in Hunter. It was a great academic education for him. I can remember going through middle school and I thought, this is incredible. I thought when he was going through elementary school, this is incredible. And then it was middle school. And then when he came through middle school, it was beyond anything. Everybody dreads middle school. Everybody tells you, oh, you have a middle schooler. But it was a great experience for Hunter. And I felt like he was so well prepared for high school. And then when he got to high school, I clearly was honestly blown away by the experience he had in high school. He was challenged academically. He played football. He was on student government. He was able to have teachers invest in him. When these kids were sharing up here about teachers reaching out to them by email or text, caring about them, investing in them, I saw all of that in my older son. And my younger son is different. He's in 6th grade and he started here in the 3-year-old program. It was wonderful to me to have them both on the same campus because I knew if, as a parent, especially as a mom, many times you go to the absolute worst. But I thought if something happened, at least my boys would be together and they would be able to get to each other. And that was extremely important to me. But Jordan is very outgoing. He's extremely social. And I felt like his teachers really locked in with him on that. The traits that he has, I don't even know the right word to tell you that, but they've used those traits to continue to give him great success. Miss Avant, who is now the elementary principal, was his 1st grade teacher, and he loved Miss Avant. And it made a difference on how he wanted to perform in school. I can't tell you what it means when you watch a teacher unlock a love of a subject for your child. When Hunter was in 7th grade, he had Miss Swatley, the middle school principal, as his science teacher. I can remember him coming home and saying, Mom, I love science. You won't believe what Miss Swatley is teaching us. And so Miss Swatley has a huge place in our heart because of what she instilled in Hunter. For Jordan struggles with math. It's a very difficult subject for him. And in 5th grade, Miss Bradshaw was his math teacher. And she encouraged him. And at the end of the year at 5th grade graduation, she came up to him and hugged him and told him how proud she was of him. And I can't tell you as a parent, when you watch your child struggle and you see him be successful, what that means to you. And then to have that teacher who's going to have probably 3 or 4 classes of 5th graders here next year, but to look him in the eyes and tell him, if you have any trouble, you come back and see me. As a parent, you can't I couldn't ask for anything any more than that. Some of the things that Jordan has been involved in, he's been involved in the first elementary school play that they had last year. He's been involved in football and baseball, and his all-time favorite thing is to have somebody shadow him. He loves that because he loves to talk about his school at Briarcrest. It's something that's very important to him. So we all have different reasons, and one of the reasons that's been very important to me is the teachers and the administration. I feel like they invest in my children. They love my children. But the most important thing to me is, because I could go somewhere else and get an education. know these teachers and this administration pray for my children by name. And that's huge to me. Because I don't, other schools may have that, but I know for a fact here. And so I never really worried too much about who his teacher was going to be in third grade, because I felt like the principal and the teachers had prayed over where those kids would be placed. And so that was so important to me. And just having watched the school transform since 1973, I can remember when I took Bible classes, it was very much almost a history lesson. But now I see Bible as it's so relational for them. And it's in so many areas of the different subjects, and that's been so incredibly important. Also, I've watched my older son. He's a student at the University of Alabama. And he's had a lot of success there. He got a great scholarship. He got a good ACT score. And his dream was to be at the University of Alabama. And he wouldn't have been able to do that if he hadn't been given the foundation of education that he had here. And so it allowed him to be able to fulfill his dream. But he's done great at Alabama, and I truly believe that's because of the education and the foundation that he received here at Briarcrest. Last week I was talking to him on the phone, and one of the classes that he took, I believe he was a senior, was a defense of faith. And we were talking about something that was going on at school, and he said, Mom, I remember what I learned in the defense of faith class. And Hunter's a junior at the University of Alabama. And so it's not just things, the defense of faith class is kind of like the class, why do I believe what I believe? And they have to search it out in the scriptures and for themselves and talk it over with their classmates. And so for him to continue to build on that he learned in school, it meant the world to me. If one of the things on your list today is a perfect school, you're not going to find it here. The school's not perfect. But I can tell you this. Anytime I've had a concern and I need to go to a principal or administrator, they've all listened to me. They may not agree with me, but they've all listened to me. And so, this is 2017. So I've been involved with the school since 1973, either as a student or as a parent. And knowing what I know today, if I had to go back and make the decision for myself, for Hunter, or for Jordan, I'd still choose Briar.